Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is December 1st, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery as of yesterday afternoon. I want to show you guys something here. Southern California, the Bay Area, Nevada, and there's Arizona, Northern California, of course, the Oregon-California border up there. If I put this into motion, you notice some of these lightning strikes across Southern California, the higher terrain. If you were out and about there, you probably heard that thunder crashing. Even a thunderstorm off to the east of Sacramento there across some of the higher terrain there, the foothills, it looks like, of the Sierra Nevada, and you can see some of these thunderstorms kept on through the evening and nighttime hours there, just off to the east of Ontario, and then moved across Arizona. Beneficial precipitation. Good to see that out there, dealing with some drought conditions. And then as we scroll through the infrared satellite imagery here, you can see the next system rolling down. It's going to bring some snowfall, mainly light amounts, but better across some of the higher terrain there as we go through the next couple of days. Hazardous marine conditions, nearshore waters. Check out these gusty northwest winds. We got some wind advisories out there across the higher terrain as well. I'll show you that here in a moment. But the seas 4 to 8 feet, peaking to 12 today. So heads up if you're along the coast there, thinking about taking a boat out. This day in SoCal weather history, 1982. Look at this, heavy rain, strong winds, 1.6 million without power. 1986, high tides impacted some of the coastal areas. In 2011, strong offshore winds hit the region. Some crazy weather this time of year. Moderate transportation risks. There is going to be some fog risk tomorrow along some of the Central Valley areas, the I-5 corridor, so watch out for that. This would be about towards tomorrow morning, some portion of tomorrow morning, as you can see there. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Great smartphone app, all solar powered and wireless. Now looking at the European, this is total precipitation in inches last night's run, so it goes at 144 hours. So we go through the day today, you can see Northern California being impacted there, some light snow across the Sierra Nevada here as we go through tomorrow morning. But you can see the atmospheric rivers and these systems across Pacific Northwest are going to be including Northern California here at times, maybe even a little bit of light rain down towards the Bay Area here as we go through the mid portion of the week. But another interesting system going to be dropping down as we go through the weekend here. I'll show you that in a moment. Looking at the NAM 3CAM high resolution model, 80 meter wind speeds. You can see the direction of the winds out of the northwest, getting some gusty winds across the higher terrain. There are some wind advisories out there for that, so watch out over the next couple days. You can see them pretty strong there. And then as we go on in through Saturday, these gusty winds continue down the coastline. And you can kind of see these systems rolling into Oregon and Washington there as well, again, including California at times. And by the time we roll into Sunday, we relax the gradient a bit across Southern California here as we continue some precipitation chances for the north portion of California. This goes all the way out 60 hours towards Sunday afternoon. You can see where the snow is heaviest. And again, higher terrain is going to fare better here. You know, once you're at Tahoe or Truckee out there, you might get an inch or two, but you could run into some higher amounts if you're off in the backcountry, including Nevada. Higher terrain, of course, will be targeted. Lake Tahoe, maybe an inch or so. The mean is right around an inch, so not too bad at the Lake Tahoe airport there. But again, the higher terrain is going to have better amounts. Mount Shasta actually uptrended a little bit here, maybe 3 inches there showing up. So you can kind of see that as we go through the morning Sunday. That should be wrapping up. Now, looking at a wider view of things here, you got the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. California is here, Nevada, Washington. Put this into motion, and you can see some of these systems. That last one moving through Saturday into Sunday morning will eventually wrap up some of that snowfall here. And then this atmospheric rivers are going to be pointed at the Pacific Northwest and get including California at times. But then we've got this trough kind of dropping down over the state. Will this be an inside slider, or will this emerge a bit more westerly and bring better moisture dynamics across the state of California? Kind of an interesting looking trough there. This would be for next weekend time frame, right? Here we are looking at Friday afternoon. Right there is Saturday afternoon. And there is Sunday afternoon. So you can kind of see this thing hanging out for a bit. And then the models continue to show maybe that subtropical jet stream getting a bit more active as we go through mid-December and bringing some potential storm systems towards the west coast here, including the state of California. And we'll look at the GFS here on that in a moment. But first, let's look at the European. What does all that mean? So you can see some of that precipitation moving across Northern California, at times reaching portions of Central California over the next few days. Continue this on. Strong atmospheric river into the Pacific Northwest. It does include some in Northwest California, maybe some light rain down towards the Bay Area. This would be Thursday morning shown there. And then we get the trough dropping down. You can see it bringing some dynamics and some precipitation down for Southern California as well as it starts to spin and starts to tap a little bit of subtropical moisture here and bringing it back up over the region. So this would be an interesting scenario here, something fun to watch as we go on in through the next couple of days. Here you can see some nice rainfall amounts across New Mexico and Arizona where they really need it as well. This kind of low kind of hanging out here for a bit. So that would be an interesting scenario on last night's European run. If I back it up here, you can again kind of see the progress of that storm. But just a caution there, we're still looking at 186 hours out before that trough starts to move down across the state. Now looking at the GFS, let's see if it's anything similar to what the European I just showed you. You can see some of those impulses moving through atmospheric rivers into the Pacific Northwest. And then what we're looking at here is this next trough as we go towards the next weekend here. And it does show it, as you can see, dropping down. But it's a little bit further to the east there. Wouldn't have quite the dynamics the European showed. But it's nice to see that the models do show some agreement here out towards hour 200. So this is something interesting for us to watch for sure off to the extended. And then the GFS wants to remain active here as we go on in through the mid portion of December as well. As you can see, some below average heights out across Pacific, maybe a subtropical jet stream trying to make its way in here and bring some storm systems into California. But again, out in Fantasyland right now, we'll continue to monitor. And the GFS, so let's take a look at what that trough would bring. In the meantime, our system's kind of rolling through, impacting Northern California. There it goes. And then here comes that trough. So you can see it does bring precip across Northern California, some of the higher terrain there. And it does show some precip, of course, not as wet as the European because it's a little bit further placed east. But you can see a pretty dynamic storm across some Arizona and New Mexico there where they really need the rainfall. And then through the extended, you can see some interesting solutions way off in the Fantasyland portion of the GFS. But you take that with a grain of salt as of right now. And this is looking at 30-day precipitation anomalies. So you can clearly see as you go over the next 30 days or so, the Northwest kind of bullseye here. But as we go through the model here, you can kind of see from mid-December to mid-January, that increase here in kind of that above average precipitation signal, actually below average still across the Sierra Nevada here. But yeah, kind of an emerging signal there. It was just something for us to watch right now, just something to keep in the back of our minds. This is the GFS extended also. And so if we scroll through, this is 7-day precipitation anomaly, and you can kind of see the increase in that as we go towards, the end of December into early January. Just something to keep in the back of our mind, just something to look at. This is daily 2-meter max temperature here. It's always nice to look at how comfortable some of the temperatures are across the region here at this time of year. Nice little warm up coming through Wednesday and then dropping things back down as that trough moves down across the area as we go through next week. And you see things cooling down across much of the region. And quickly looking at the daily 2-meter min temperature here, you can kind of see some of these comfortable overnight lows. But then that chillier air arrives through next weekend here. And this is the national blend of models. 6 to 10-day precipitation outlook, Central California North showing slightly above average. Again, something similar to yesterday with the below average signal across Southern California, Southern Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico here. But this is probably going to be changing here with that storm system looking to bring some precip, at least to portions of Arizona and New Mexico, a better probability right now. So 8 to 14 day also. I think this is going to change up a bit today. And again, California free of drought, but Arizona and New Mexico could really use the rainfall if that system does materialize. And this I showed yesterday as well, kind of showing what was put out November 24th by the Climate Prediction Center. Does include California with some above average precip. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Pretty crazy time up here across the Pacific Northwest as well. You can see some lightning strikes across some of the Oregon coastline, Washington coastline this morning also. But yeah, we'll keep watching that extended forecast because things are bound to turn more active here eventually across California. And there are some signs for it as we go through December. So anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.